You want to jump in the game of real estate and you're wondering, do I need a team? Is this something that I can do on my own? And today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of that, because the decision you make right now might determine your ultimate success. I'm amazed at the number of people that try to do real estate entirely on their own. I think there's do-it-yourself mindset is like ingrained into us for some reason. And I think too often it's because there's a thought, if I bring on a team or I hire someone, it's going to take money out of my pocket, and cheaper is going to be better. But I'm going to tell you right now, that is not always true. In fact, it could be in some situations absolutely detrimental. Personally, I've always been a fan of the philosophy that if you want something done right, you shouldn't do it yourself. You should actually bring on a team of experts. And that has certainly brought me really far in my business, because I actually tried it both ways. In the beginning, I tried to do everything like a solo journey. Me. I got to wield the hammer, find the deal, put it all together. And I even got my lending license. Today, I do almost the opposite. Today, I do almost nothing. And so I want to bring some perspective to this. Now, if you're a subscriber, you probably can guess what some of my sentiments and feelings are on this. What I'm actually going to be doing is bringing on a member of my team that I've been working with for years, who's gone in. She's actually bought real estate with my team. She's actually done it both ways. And I'm going to have her share some of her insights on the value of a team versus going it alone. And for real estate, for your future, for your destiny, which is going to be best. So to make this work, I am going to transform myself into a tiny little midget named Marianne.
Here I am. Actually, no, totally just joking. My name is Marianne, and I want to tell you something about building the right kind of a team, because you know what? The pros and the cons of doing real estate on your own versus building the team, let me tell you what it was like in my life. I knew that real estate with a ticket, they're not making any more land, which means real estate is always going to be in demand. I looked at the portfolios of the millionaires and the billionaires. 99% of them recommended that I get into real estate. And so I knew nothing about it. And so I figured I'm going to have to do this on my own. I'm a DIYer, which means I never did anything, which means my portfolio never did anything, which means my financial growth never did anything. So the cons of doing this on your own, for me, meant it never got done. Which I guess is better than doing it and then tanking it and bombing and never wanting to do it again. So here's your options. Either do it yourself and do nothing, do it yourself and learn the hard way, or hire an expert. And here's what that looks like. When you build a team, you're actually building what I call freedom in 3 different aspects. The first one is time freedom. Time is the one commodity that you can never get back. No one can go out there and buy more time. It just doesn't exist. When you hire someone else to do what you can do, you've essentially multiplied yourself. You know, I'm at the point in my life right now where I'm about to hire someone to do my laundry because I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. You hire out what you don't need to do. So if you don't know how to do real estate and you don't want to spend time doing real estate, you don't want to spend time making mistakes, don't want to spend time looking for houses, hire an expert who knows how to do that. So time freedom is the first one. The second one is this, emotional freedom. Now, I know some of you that are watching, you tasted real estate, maybe even you got burned by it. Maybe you were around in 2008 when real estate took a downturn and you lost some of your portfolio. What happened in that moment for some of you is that emotional freedom wasn't an option. There was an emotion that took over at that moment and said, real estate caused all my suffering. Real estate did all these bad things in my life, and there was a sour taste put in your mouth because of something that happened that was in your circumstances. Emotional freedom means this. I'm the master of my emotions. I know when to get excited, and I know when to push through, and I know when to move on. A lot of people that had emotional mastery and emotional freedom took 2008, they pushed through it, and now they're still in real estate, and they're making more than they ever have before. Emotional freedom means I get to be in charge of me, and I get to put everything else totally aside. The last is obvious. It's financial freedom. Now imagine for a moment, the equation looks like this. I'm going to spend more money out of my pocket and pay someone else, pay the expert to do what they do all day long. And you know, it doesn't make sense in the mind. The math doesn't make sense. That means that's going to cost me more if I have $1,000 and I pay 100 of that to someone else to do what they do that I could have done. That's where the DIY and the scarcity mentality overlap, and that actually can end up biting you and costing you way more. Let me give you an example. When I first did my first property, I thought I'm going to be the property manager because I want to what? Save money, right? Who doesn't want to save money? But the nights that I spent on the phone with a tenant who put the air filter in backwards and caused the air system to break down, that the tenant that says, my water heater's broken, I need you to fix it. Oh my gosh, it drove me absolutely insane. And you better believe at that point, I was willing to pay someone 10% of whatever was coming in so that they could handle that problem for me. Time freedom, money freedom, emotional freedom, they're all tied together, and building a team of experts that know what they're doing and are in the right place at the right time, that's when it's going to bring that level of freedom for you. And now I'm going to turn back into a giant.
I got bigger. Listen up. That was Marianne, not me, not my inner female. I mean, I got some female energy, but it's not like that. I got warrior energy. So listen up. Are we the right team for you, right? I mean, that's really the question that you should be asking yourself is, am I going to do real estate solo journey, or do I really want to step into a team? And if it's a team, there's a link below in the description. And all you got to do is click it, talk to a member of our team, and then find out what are your best options and what are the shortcuts that we can provide you to take you to the top of the mountain, start crushing it in real estate right now. Make sure you subscribe. We'll see you on tomorrow's video.